Did any big news happen over the weekend? Anything I missed? I made the joke coming in, but I obviously Joe Biden stepped down. It seemed like the inevitable outcome.
Sure.
Probabilities have Kamala Harris in the lead, something like 80-ish% clinching the Democratic nomination. What did you think when you saw the tweet? Kind of wild that the first president ever to not seek not renomination did it via tweet. But
I
what
mean,
did you think?
I thought it was overdue. I thought it should have been done a week ago. I thought it should have been done prior to the Republican convention. But I mean, that's when I would have done it if I was a strategist for the Democratic Party. They got lucky because I think that Trump's speech put them right back in the race because it was so bad that I think that they were lucky they didn't give him the fodder to work with. So I think that in reality, in the end, I think it came out the timing came out right for it. I mean, we'll see what happens over the course of the next month. That's the whole key. Over the course of the next month, we'll see how close the race gets. I think it's going to be wrapped around unchanged in about a month, and we'll see what happens. You got to remember 2016. Hillary in 2016 had a much bigger.
She was 2-1 favorite.
Yeah, she had a much bigger lead than Trump has now, and she lost. And one of the things that Hillary was really bad at, she was an absolutely
everything.
She was an absolutely horrible front runner because she didn't know how to step on your throat. She didn't know how to do a lot of things. She was a horrible front runner. Trump is a horrible front runner too. He can't be a front runner. He's way better as an underdog. I think it's going to be an interesting race. Kamala Harris, we have no idea because we've never seen her in this role. The question is, how aggressive is she going to get? We know that in a debate, she'll be fine with Trump. The question is, will he debate her? And the second thing is, will she go after him? Which is how you should address bullies, but I don't know if she's got that in her or not. And who's she going to pick?
Okay, and let's say she doesn't.
Who's
Do you
the
think that bodes well?
Who's going to be, if she can't go after him, then that doesn't bode well. And then the next question is really who's going to step up as a running mate, and which direction are they going to go? Are they going to take a wild shot, which I don't think they will? They messed up when Hillary ran. They messed up because they played it safe. Wasn't it Tim Kaine, right? That's what they went with, wasn't it? Yeah, it was a safe pick. It was a horrible pick. He didn't add any value. I don't think this time they will play it safe. So I think they will go with somebody that actually, is a bulldog.
Such as?
I'm not sure. I really don't know who.
I mean, they got to win a state, right? Like a Whitmer. What about a 2-woman?
I don't think. I think that's first of all.
It's interesting.
If I'm Gretchen Whitmer, I don't do it because if you have your sights set on 2028 as a potential candidate, then you don't want to be a VP this time around. And I don't know what her relationship is with Harris. It's probably going to be somebody that's also an attorney that also has, that comes from a similar, so there's similar backgrounds. That's what I think they're going to go with. I don't know who that might be. It might be Mark Kelly from Arizona. It could be the guy from Pennsylvania. I don't know.
I think the good news in all this is that we can finally move. This has been a distraction since the end of June. I think the good news in all this is we can move past this and start to get a bit more clarity on policy from both sides, hopefully.
Victor, 100%. But that's what Trump doesn't. Trump doesn't like policy because that's too hard for him. So that's a challenge. That's the advantage that Kamala has, is that he won't talk policy. That's a huge advantage for her. That's what they're most worried about. But again, you've got a major undertaking to come back from. I mean, they've got a lot of work to do.
I could make the case that the Biden strategy was not necessarily on policy, but it was more or less on speaking to the threats to democracy and things of that nature. So it's probably a good point in time that everyone sort of pivots into policy discussions and what the next 4 years looks like versus sort of the fear mongering that's taken place up until now.
I totally agree. I think that's what you're going to see.
So you think everybody's going to stop on a dime? And I wish I hope you're correct.
No,
you think everybody's going to stop? Okay. Well,
no,
I don't think everybody's going to stop on a dime either.
From 9 to 13. But I'm telling you what I think should happen, Tony.
Okay.
What will happen is this goes.
It's going to do the same. They got the same thing. The Democrats didn't do due process. They're taking away democracy. It's going to be the same fear mongering across.
No, actually, what I think is going to happen, Victor, is you're going to see JD Vance step up to be the person that talks about strategy and platform, and because he can actually articulate things the way Trump can't. So I think he's going to step up to be the spokesperson, all that stuff. And the question is, how much if Kamala's smart, she's going to flip the cards around and say, listen, your whole case before was that Biden was old and in cognitive decline. Now the reality is you're old and you're in cognitive decline, and your cognitive abilities are falling in front of everybody's face. It's a disaster. So the question is she strong enough to pull that off? And then and that's
so you think the Democrats should do the mudslinging that the Republicans did, that you didn't like that the Republicans were doing to the Democrats, but this time you think they should do it?
First of all, to say that he's in cognitive
right.
To say that he's in cognitive decline is not mudslinging. That's fact.
It seems like that was the ultimate albatross. I mean, he had a low approval rating as well, man. I think the record speaks for itself for a certain portion of the populace, but it may not speak for itself to a large or another portion of the populace.